Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel, back again with another Cardfight Vanguard Ezel and the Vanity weekly reveals. So if you guys enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. And let's get one started. Today, we have some cards from Shaman King. I think we didn't get anything else besides just Shaman King and Blurbs. So, it's interesting. Let's go ahead and get it started because there's not that much, but I already want to get it over with. First up, we have the man that we've been talking about for a long time now, becoming a true man, Wooden Sword Ryu, 10k base, 5k shield, Great Tooth Intercept, Act Vanguard Soul Blast, one card with Wooden Sword Ryu in its card name, search your deck for up to one Ryu's buddies, call it to rear and shuffle your deck, and then continuous rear during your turn, this unit gets +2. So it's a 12k swinger on rear, just like every ride deck Grade 2 is, and it also has the ability to search Ryu's buddies and call it to a rear guard circle, just by being placed? No, it can do it regardless. And you can somewhat stack that if you have more than one Ryu in Soul. So, interesting card. Definitely not something you run of in the main deck. Probably something you just run of in the red deck. Then again, the deck does benefit from having Wooden Sword Ryu's on board, so I guess it would be benefit to have it in the main deck. So one of, I guess, maybe. Next up, the Grade 1 is It's Time to Do It, Wooden Sword Ryu. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when it's placed on Van by riding on top of a Wooden Sword Ryu, what I'm assuming is the starter. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal it to one seeking the best place or Ryu's buddies, add it to hand and shuffle your deck. So a way to search your thing, I forgot what it's called, yeah, Ryu's buddy, that I'm pretty sure it can be 9 of, and the seeking the best place, which benefits from calling Ryu's buddy / Wooden Sword Ryu. So all around, interesting. Unfortunately, it's a Vanguard restrictive skill, so unless everyone really focuses on Wooden Sword Ryu a lot, there is no real reason to run this at 4 in the main deck. So one of it in the ride deck, possibly something you run in the main deck. I hate the fact that they're not showing us Grade 3s though, unless I'm being very stupid, but I don't think they've shown us a Grade 3 yet for Shaman King besides the thing from a few months ago before they started Lyrical Monasterio. Now into our first set of blurbs, we have Narukami. I've seen mixed emotions about this one. Exorcist Maiden Mimi, or Mimu, Mui? I have no idea how to say that. The Grade 1, when rolled upon, you can increase the amount of cards in your bind zone while manipulating the top card of your deck. She also has a skill to draw a card by binding a card from your hand. So, basically, you just do what Dungaree used to do, where you kind of screw around with your bind zone. And I know Dungaree used to be scary, because I think he would just run a lot of extra crits and then just swing for game as he got a lot stronger, which is very funny. And I never got to play against or play with Dungaree, and now for some reason I have the feeling that my friend who somewhat mains Narukami is going to spam the shit out of this against me. So I must prepare for war. Yeah, very interesting. The ability to screw with the top of the deck and getting you a draw just by binding something from hand. I think it's a good card. I say 4 of maybe. Exorcist Mage Remren. So Grade 2. When rolled upon, you can increase the amount of cards in your hand and bind zone. He has a skill to bind cards directly from the deck and strengthen himself based on their grade. So that's actually really interesting, because just like Mimu over there, she has the ability to increase by being rolled upon. So probably going to be like when rolled upon, draw a card, bind the top card of your deck. And he can bind stuff directly from the deck. So it's probably going to be like on swing, counterblast one, bind some card directly from the deck, and it gets +5 for each of that card's grade. So I kind of can't wait to see that. That does seem interesting. I mean, even if it's not that, because if I'm correct, you can combo this with effing Full Bronto from Vanquisher, because I don't think it has to be bound from hand. I think Full Bronto can be bound from anywhere. So you could probably abuse this with Full Bronto unless they name restrict it. And then Sealed Demon Dragon Dungaree. I love this guy's art, because I love arrows. Grade 3, a godly dragon with unknown powers. Okay, thanks a lot. That gives us literally nothing of what we want to know about it. But that power has been sealed. Use the cards in the bind zone as food and unleash his sealed power. Okay, what is with Bushy and their weird-ass wording? Because they could choose things that make it more obvious. So I'm not so sure what they mean by food. Do they mean by, like, sack the cards in your bind zone, as in remove them from game / like put them into drop? Because what's it called? Vowing Sword Dragon said he would bind cards further. That's not necessarily true, and that was somewhat true in the sense that he could bind from deck. Food is an interesting term, because that would imply that they're either shoving it to soul, sending it to drop, or removing it from game in entirety, because there's no other reason to pick the word food besides just to say it gets power for each card in bind zone, or like it uses the cards in your bind zone, not as food, just uses the card in the bind zone. So why food specifically? I do actually question that. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it bothers me that they picked the word food, and I'm only thinking that it has to mean something behind it. But I am interested to see what this boy does, so I can't wait for that to happen. Next up, we have Celestials. Nursing Celestial Narelle. Grade 1, set up the Celestial cards in your damage zone. She supports a Celestial gimmick, so probably meaning, you know, she gets abilities based off of if cards have names with units on rear. So really nice as you can set up the damage zone. Emergency Celestial Daniel, Grade 2. She has a skill when placed to call a unit from your deck with the same card name as a card in your damage zone. I swear to God, if they give that to her for free, or just a discard cost, she's going to be amazing and probably hit the ban list really quickly. It's probably going to be like Counterblast 1, pick a card from your deck that has the same name as a card or something in your damage zone and call it to rear. But still, if they do it for like a discard cost instead of the Counterblast, I'm going to be so happy. Next up, we have Cleanup Celestial Ramiel Reverse, our Grade 3, similar to Prophecy Celestial Ramiel. She shows her true value when there are more cards in your damage zone that shows the name with your rear guards, and she can force your opponent to make a tough decision when she attacks. So she can force out guard, maybe? Or like, maybe fuck with the opponent's board like somehow Zion does. I say Zion in particular because my friend has a grudge against Zion, so yeah, this would be fun if I get to just abuse that with Ramiel, because his whole thing with Zion is that every time I use it, he has to kill himself at the end of the battle, and he wants to kill it himself, but he never can. And I just find it funny. So, Ramiel Reverse, I like this Grade 3. Seems interesting, especially with a tough decision. Of course, they go very vague descriptions on these, but still seems interesting. Next up, we have Loyal Warrior Basin, 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto drop zone when your grade 3 or greater with Tauren is in its card name is placed. If you do not have a unit with Basin in its card name, you may call it to rear. So basically, guard with it or discard it as ride deck fodder, ride your Tauren from ride deck, skill, place this thing to back row. So, interesting. I like this card. This actually seems really nice. 4 of in a Tauren deck. Next up, we have a order. Unleash My True Power. Normal order, grade 3. Play this card if you have a Tauren unit. Choose a card with base in its card name and call it to from your soul and call it to rear. Until end of turn, it gets plus 10k and a crit. If your Tauren Vanguard oversold this turn, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. I completely forgot what oversoul is, but yeah, a way to get Basin on. Like, I'm assuming they mean this one. I think there is a grade 2 Basin, so probably like a 20k extra crit. And then, you know, you can just kill an opponent's rear guard if you're oversold. But that's not important. So, all around, I like this order. Seems very interesting. 2 over 3 of. Next up, we have the things that people are somewhat looking forward to. Silverthorns. Silverthorn Beast Tamer. Anna. Yeah, nope, just Silverthorn Beast Tamer Anna. Grade 1. When called due to your Silverthorn Vanguard, it can countercharge, refund the cost of loot gear. Okay, automatically, we all know that is a 4 of staple in any Silverthorn deck. Solely because any form of countercharging is appreciated. Because the regular Lukier, Silverthorn, I forgot what her name is already. I forgot what her official title is, but the regular Lukier is a Counterblast 2. So automatically, even if it's just a Countercharge 1, that is cutting the cost in half, which is amazing. If we're going Venus Lukier, she's just a Counterblast 1 for some fucking reason, even though she does a lot more than the original. So this automatically makes that for free, and then depending on how much reverse cost, this will probably be even better. So all around, this is a damn staple in any deck that has a Silverthorn Vanguard. So automatically, that's a 4 of. Silverthorn Beast Tamer Marsha, grade 2, a unit that can soul charge and draw at the same time. When placed from soul, call more allies. So it probably means when placed from soul, shove another rear guard to soul, and then call a card from soul to rear, kind of loop it like how Bunny does with Jumping Jill, I think. So all around really interesting, and probably is like when it's placed on Van or when it's rode upon, soul charge and draw one. And then grade 3, Silverthorn Dragon Tamer, Lukier Reverse. I know it's called Lukier, but I prefer Lukier. I don't know why. It's my mind's instinct to call it Lukier. Grade 3, the more locked rear guards you have, the crazier the performance of Silverthorn will become. Also, if this card is in Lukier's Soul... Wait, what? Also, if this card is in Wait, I thought the reverse was supposed to be on top, not under. And which Lukier do you mean? Do you mean Venus? Or do you mean the OG, or you're just going to say if it's in the Lukier's Soul? Why is the reverse under... No one else has said that. Why is the reverse under the other one? Is that a typo, or is that a genuine thing? The more locked rear guards you have, the crazier the... Okay, that's not the important part, though. Like, what the fuck? Okay, now I'm actually curious. You know, We'll figure that out later when it gets released. That makes me interested in this one now. Because I wasn't interested in it before, but now I'm kind of interested. Let me just make sure I'm reading that right. Also, this card isn't... Yep. Okay, never mind. I am reading it right. So next up, we have our Murakumo boys. Nope, Nubatama. I don't know why I said Murakumo. Stealth Dragon UN. Grade 1 when written on. Add a grade 3 from your deck to hand. Also, after a boost, you can return one of your rear guards to hand. Okay, I love Magetsu, but my problem with it when it first came out is, like, in my opinion, there weren't enough cards that bounce, and then there was always a problem with the grade 3 and Soul. Then they gave us a grade 1 that could solve both those problems, and then we're getting more bouncers. So, yeah, take that as you will. So apparently, you can just ride upon this. So, ride this as your grade 1, ride literally any grade 2, and add a grade 3. It's probably going to be, look at top 7 for a grade 3, but if it just says, search your deck for a grade 3, then Jesus Christ. And then, you know, you can bounce something to hand. Stealth Dragon Royal Nova, one of my, in my opinion, out of these, it's my coolest looking one. Grade 2, when placed, add a Magetsu to your hand, and at the end of your turn, instead of returning to deck, it powers up. What do you mean at the end of turn, return it to deck? Because Magetsu doesn't do that. Is it supposed to return to deck by an ability? Or does that just mean hand and it was a typo? Either way, you get a free Magetsu just by being placed, which is really nice. And you can power it up. So, interesting. And Covert Demonic Dragon, Magetsu Storm Reverse. Grade 3, when placed due to the skill of Magetsu Storm, the OG, it can demonstrate the true power of the distorted other self. In the right conditions, it can become stronger than the real body, even as a rear guard. So that's the interesting thing. With Lukier and Magetsu over here, Magatsu, I don't know why I keep calling it Magatsu, it seems very interesting because they seem more like support cards, because this one wants to be in Soul, or at least by the way it worded, and this one wants to be on Rear. So it seems like these two would be very good support cards and not even take over the main deck, and I like that because I don't like constantly switching around the main grade 3, so I'm very appreciative of the fact that we have some backup grade 3s that still show a lot of significance, like the reverse units, but they're more focused on being supporters than being the main Vanguard. Because I always like the main Vanguard skills, and I don't want to just kind of swap between them. So really interesting. Can't wait to see that one. Next up, we have Wooden Sword Ryu. I was wrong. I called it the grade 0 earlier. It's a grade 2. Continuous Guard Circle. If your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater and you do not have a Vanguard with Wooden Sword Ryu in its card name, it gets plus 10k shield. Grade 10, what? Grade 2, intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Why is it restrictive to not having a Wooden Sword Ryu Vanguard? Because this says that it cannot have it in its card name. What was the grade 2 from earlier? Does it have that in? Yeah, it does. So are you not supposed to run this in a Wooden Sword Ryu base deck? Also, now that I think about it, we have only seen one grade 3. And while I may be jumping to conclusions, is Shaman King only going to have one grade 3 just with a bunch of different builds? Is that what it's going to be like? Because we've only seen one grade 3 unless I'm forgetting one. But interesting, I guess? 4, 3, I don't see the point of this. Tauren, grade 2, intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear when this unit attacks while not boosted, counterblast 1 and this unit gets plus 10 for the battle, and auto rear when this unit attacks hits a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, discard a card from hand, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it. So, pretty much a 20k swinger if not boosted, and if it hits, you can discard and kill a rear guard. So, oh wait, no, sorry, not kill a rear guard, discard a card from their hand. So, all around, I like this card. It's very interesting. 4 of. I actually see purpose in this, unlike this one. Next up, we have Horo, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Act rear once per turn, counterblast 1. Choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards in the same column as this unit, and they cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Continues rear during the battle that it attacked a grade 3 or greater unit. It gets plus 5. So 15k swing, possibly with an 8k boost, so 23, and can stop rear guards from standing. Why is this always something they do with the crossover decks? Because I'm pretty sure... Actually, no, it's just this one that does it, but I know there are cards that are similar to it with Monster Strike and Token Rambu, so take it as you will. Next up, we have Fated Battle Tauren, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept, auto van. When this unit attack boosted by a base and rear guard hits, draw a card, continuous rear. This unit gets plus 2 during your turn. So, okay, at least it's a continuous skill, not an on-swing skill. And it can just be boosted by base and a draw card, which is really nice. It does have to hit, but still. Hatred for Tauren, 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto, when it's placed on van by riding over Tauren, search your... What? But this is a grade 2. Okay, I don't understand what's going on anymore. But, search your deck for one Loyal Warrior Basin, call it to center back row, and shuffle your deck. Okay. So you just get the free grade 1 from earlier. So interesting, okay. Now we have more reveals, and this is our last 2 blurbs. Fruiting Jewel Knight Eunice. Grade 1, a convenient unit that can return to hand while gathering soul. When called or written over, it can retire an opponent's rear guard. So, if you don't remember what Jewel Knights used to do, they were just focused on, in terms of V by the way, they were just focused on placing over their units with other units and then having abilities that activate when other units are placed on them, which included being on-ride effects, which, in my opinion, was very versatile and could have been really broken. Now they're doing it with more units, great. So, basically, you can just kill an opponent's rear guard. So, reasons for them not to rush you early, I guess, and something that can bounce to hand if you gather soul, so probably like soul charge 1, bounce it to hand at the end of the battle that it boosted. Then grade 2, Dogmatized Jewel Knight Sibley. It can fix your hand while increasing your soul. When written or called over, it calls more Jewel Knights. So it's probably going to be, I don't know, when it's placed, counterblast 1 to draw a card and soul charge 1. And when written on and called over, it's probably just going to be, you know, call Jewel Knight from deck, maybe with a discard cost or soul boss cost. So very interesting. And then leading Jewel Knights alone. Grade 3, call Jewel Knights and launch a barrage of attacks amidst a myriad of allies. Stand up here now. When written over, it will increase power and drive. So probably is going to be like the break ride skill plus 10 and a drive to Van, and a launch a barrage of attacks. So, interesting. Because Ashley, I believe, could get 5 attacks before. Thanks to Sibley over here, I think I can hit 7 now if I'm doing the math right. Especially if you play it right, you might be able to hit 7. I'm not so sure. I only played Jewel Knights like once to 5 times, and I never touched it again. And it's been a hot while since I played Jewel Knights. It's not that I didn't like them. It's just that I couldn't touch them anymore because I lost access to air, and I was way too lazy to put them into tabletop. So, very interesting. I kind of can't wait to see these. Next up, we have our last little blurbs, which is Beast Deities. So, Beast Deity Max Beat. Grade 1, when called, it adds a Beast Deity from the top of your deck to hand. So, probably just going to be look at the top card of your deck if there's a Beast Deity added to hand. And Beast Deity Brainy Papio. Grade 2, when discarded, it can call itself. Also, when your Vanguard attack hits, a strong skill will activate. So, interesting. So, pretty much, you know, you have fodder for Ethics Buster now, because that's what Ethics Buster does. You just discard cards, so you can call it. Especially if the Grade 3 now does it, the new reverse card. And if it does it during the battle phase, that means multi-attack, which is really nice. And then Deadliest Beast Deity, Ethics Buster Reverse. I don't know why I hate his art. His art looks childish to me. I don't know why. Grade 3, powers up every time it attacks. The strong does not need the attack of other allies. Strike them down with only your fist. Furthermore, if there's an Ethics Buster, the original one in Soul, do a thing. So, that's interesting. Powers up every time it attacks, and it doesn't need other allies. Now, that's interesting, because the old reverse was a part of the... I forgot what they called it. I think it was called, like, Hell's Gate or 8 Attack Loop. 8 Attack Hell. I don't remember what they called it, but anyone who's seen Break Ride knows what I'm referring to, where you Break Ride the original... You Break Ride reverse on top of the original. You do your cross Break Ride, whatever. You get the ability to restand your front row, including your Vanguard, twice. So, your Vanguard restands once, but your other rear guards in the front row restand twice, and then you just hit numbers, and you attack 8 times in a row, and probably kill them with that turn. So, it's interesting now that by the way they make that seem, he seems more like you don't use your rear guards. It's probably going to be like you lock a standing rear guard, but then again, that's more greed on it. It'll probably just be on attack, lock 2 rear guards, restand it. If you have an Ethics Buster in Soul, it restand to lose a drive, and if you have an Ethics Buster in Soul, you gain a drive instead of losing a drive, kind of like how Spectre Duke does. It'd be very interesting to see that. I don't know why I feel like that's what it's going to do, or like something along those lines. I get the strong feeling that's what it's going to do, but I kind of cannot wait to see the reverse of this guy. As much as I don't like his art, I do like the deck in general, so can't wait to see that. Next up, we have Beloved Wife, Eliza Faust. 8k base, 5k shield, greater 1 boost. Continues rear if your Vanguard with Faust 8 and his card name is oversold during this turn. It gets plus 10k and a crit. So it's an 18k double crit swinger on rear / booster. And auto rear at the end of the battle that attacked, counterblast 1, retire 3 skeleton soldier tokens, stand it. So basically kill 3 tokens and stand it. Okay, they stole this straight from Morphus, but sure. You may be asking, how do you get these tokens? You get them through Necromancy, a grade 1 set order. You can only play it if you have Foster the 8th on your board. I forgot what Foster the 8th was. Wait, never mind, I remembered. It's a fucking vanilla. Auto, when this is put into Order Zone, look at the top 2, add up to 1 card with Alyssa Faust and its card name to your hand and discard the rest. So basically, you add either 1 or you discard 2. And then act Order Zone if you have a Vanguard with Foster the 8th in its card name, bind 3 cards straight from your drop zone, call Skeleton Soldier tokens to rear equal to the number of Necromancy in your Order Zone. So if you have 2 Necromancies, you call 2. If you have 3, you call 3. So way to spawn out the board really quickly. And here are the stats of Skeleton Soldier tokens, which are just 5k shields. 5k base units. So, interesting build. It definitely feels like they're taking this from Orphis now, especially with the ability just to stand itself. But I still like it. Next up, we have Following the Madness, Foster the 8th, grade 2, intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Auto, when it's placed on Van by riding over an Uncanny Feeling, Foster the 8th. Counterblast 1, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Return all cards Necromancy from them to your hand. So, from drop zone in general to your hand, which is really good, because if you discard them for ride deck fodder, or they get milled out by other means, you can add them back to hand. But mill 5 by being placed, that's an interesting ability. It continues rear during your turn, it gets +2 when it swings, and there it goes. I thought it was going to have something unique, did not. So, interesting grade 2. There's really no point in running into this in the main deck, but it's one of in the right deck, so fair enough. Next up, we have an Uncanny Feeling. Foster, I see another mill 5 skill. AK base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto, when it's placed on Van by riding over Foster the 8th. Probably just the grade 0. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck, return up to 1 card with Alyssa Faust and its card name from your drop zone to hand. So you get this, and I know there's another support card that has this name, but I don't remember what it is. So interesting. Once more, is it just supposed to be you ride this, set up your drop zone, and hope you mill Necromancies, then use this to mill more to get more Necromancies back? Is that what the point of this is? Because milling 10 cards does not seem like a good idea. I should know. Zorga gets... If I play Zorga, I'm getting down to 10 deck cards first grade 3 turn. This does not seem smart at all. So, interesting, I guess. But once more, no point to run in the main deck because it has no skill on rearguard, but hey. And our last reveal is just some hints. Now, I want to let it be clear. Some people said that we would not get evolutions for our new ride decks. And I know I was one of the people that said we would not get evolutions for the new ride decks. Or at least I think I said that. If I didn't say it, I meant to say it. We would not get evolutions for our new ride decks. The ones that came out in set 3. Well, Bushy has decided that that's wrong. Now, I don't know what this means by new cards. I'm not sure if it means just new main cards. Because, in my opinion, this looks like a main fucking card for Stoicheia right here, and this better be the one that stands shit. This looks like a straight up new Meteor, not a new Gravidia. And this is just a kitty cat. I don't understand what these are supposed to be. I don't know if they're supposed to be new grade 3s. This is definitely not a grade 3. This is a grade 3. Then whatever the fuck this is a card. Because I'm not so sure what that is. But, interesting. I'm not so sure if these are new evolutions. Because I can't read Japanese. If you can read that, can someone tell me what that actually says? So, regardless, I'm very interested in what this is. They're either new evolutions or really good support cards. I kind of can't wait. Because if it's support cards, I'm not so sure what this one's going to do. This is definitely a new fucking Meteor. If it's not, then they have no right to give it this art, even though it looks really cool. And I want this to do something that restands rear guards. I don't care what this is, it better restand rear guards. I've already complained about it in my flag brick deck. I want this to restand rear guards. So that was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you think of all the blurbs now that you've heard all the small little snippets that we're going to get from the collection set. How do you guys feel about the support? How do you think they're going to be? How do you think Shaman King's doing right now? And what do you expect these new cards to be for Greedon, Gravidia, and Flagberg? So I really want to hear your guys' opinions on this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your vanguards.